Well, GOP voters find out he's a voter, Republican, finds out he's actually not a legal citizen after 60 years in the U.S. Hell of a story. Put it up for a mass. Okay. This is called voting for your own oppression. So, welcome Jimmy Klass. Jimmy is a registered Republican voter in Florida. Found out he's not legal. He's not a legal citizen after living in the U.S. for 64 years. Now, you know my philosophy. I don't believe anybody's illegal, okay? But he believed that people were illegal. So he voted for the people that believe that as well, the GOP. But come to find out, he's considered an illegal also. Quote, I moved to the U.S. in 1959. I've been here for 64 years. He recently told ABC WFTS Tampa Bay News. But after more than half a century in the U.S., where he's lived, worked, gone to school, got married, had kids, paid taxes, and even voted, Jimmy said in 2020 he discovered he's actually not a U.S. citizen. Jimmy said it all came to light after he applied for the Social Security retirement benefits he had paid into his entire working life. Jimmy was born in Canada. His mom is Canadian, but his father was American, born and raised in New York. Jimmy said his family moved to the U.S. when he was 2 and stayed here. As Jimmy got older, he assumed he, too, was an American, a dual citizen. Jimmy said he was never questioned about his citizenship status. Not when he got a Social Security card, driver's license, or voter registration card. I've been voting for over 40 years. I guess I'm in a lot of trouble, he said with a sarcastic laugh. By voting as a non-U.S. citizen, Jimmy broke federal law each time he voted in an American election. Now, why do you think Jimmy was laughing about these criminal allegations that he's admitting himself? It may have something to do with him being Canadian. Because I guarantee you, it's not a laughing matter for those who are Black and brown who have been caught up in this system of immigration and deportation. There's more. So Jimmy said his citizenship status was also never questioned when he applied for and was approved to serve as a Marine for the U.S. military. He didn't end up serving due to getting a union job, he said, but they never questioned him when he went to sign up. At one point in his life, he was even approved to work for the New Jersey State Police. Yeah, the only thing they asked me for was my Social Security card and my driver's license, end quote. After learning he wasn't really a U.S. citizen, Jimmy formally applied for status, but was denied. U.S. Customs and Immigration Services would not share details when we contacted them about Jimmy's case. In an email, a spokesperson stated they don't talk about individual cases, but in a 2022 denial letter, the agency stated that Jimmy did not provide enough evidence to prove his father lived in the U.S. for 10 years before Jimmy was born, which is a requirement for a child seeking citizenship through a parent. So Jimmy contacted who? Senator Marco Rubio's office for help and hired an immigration attorney, even a genealogist who found records linking Jimmy to his dad, to the U.S. in the years before he was born. Still, his fight continues today. Jimmy is still not a U.S. citizen. And let's say his citizenship is granted, Jimmy still committed multiple federal offenses. I mean, oh my goodness, what are we going to do here? Are they going to bring in federal agents? Will the ATF be involved? What does Ron DeSatan have to say about this? Are they going to hold a press conference about how illegals are voting in the United States of America? No, they won't do it because Jimmy is Canadian. Canadians have been known statistically by the federal government's own numbers to be the #1 violators of overstay visas. I've talked to you about that before. Here's another semi example. No issue. There will be no headline. There is no big story, no press conference, no sheriffs talking about we're going to round them up, no mass deportation. No, we need to talk to Canada. None of that because, well, you know. Sharon, thoughts?
So Marco Rubio is incoming. He's supposed to be the Secretary of State under Trump and an experienced guy. And Jimmy's done all of this. Didn't they say the criminals would be the first ones they round up?
That's what they
and
said.
if Jimmy's, I mean, he's admitted, he admitted, Doc, that he did these things. So
And
there's
laughed
no
about it.
controversy. He laughed.
Yeah.
And so he needs to go back to, he needs to be deported immediately and held. I wonder if the local authorities that Trump was going to also have help out will be rounding him up today.
Yeah, and I wonder, it's the local, it's the sheriff of his county involved already to put Jimmy under surveillance until they get this right.